The title that sounded simple turned out to open a spiral of unexpected speculation. What really happened when Jungkook finally said some sentences that were allegedly related to Lisa? Instead of calming the public's curiosity, those words actually become new fuel that makes netizens drown in a big question mark that has not been answered until now. It all started from a moment that seemed ordinary at first glance. In a casual interview session that initially had nothing to do with any issue, Jungkook was seen answering questions in a calm tone. However, when the conversation begins to lead to the topic of cross-group friendship and interaction between idols, his expression changes, not drastically, but enough to make observant fans realize that there is something different. The sentence he said sounded simple, even almost no double meaning for some people. But for the fans, every word from Jungkook is not something that can be underestimated. There are many things that do not need to be explained, he said briefly, accompanied by a thin smile that is difficult to interpret. That sentence, which may sound ordinary to ordinary people, actually triggered a chain reaction among fans. What does it mean? What does it need to be explained? And more importantly, who does he mean? In a matter of hours, the video clip spread widely on various social media platforms. The fans began to associate the statement with various old moments that had previously gone viral. One of the most frequently discussed is the indirect interaction between Jungkook and Lisa in several international events. A fleeting glance, a faint smile, to the moment of coincidence being in the same location. All of them are raised and analyzed again as if they were part of a big puzzle that is now starting to be arranged. But what makes this situation more complicated is not only Jungkook's words, but the way he says them. There was a short pause before he answered, as if he was choosing the right word. There is also a subtle change in expression, but enough to cause speculation that he is hiding something. Small things like this are what make the fans believe that there is a hidden meaning behind the statement. On the other hand, not a few try to be rational. They argue that the public may be too far in interpreting something that actually has no particular intention. In the entertainment world that is full of highlights, every movement and speech of an idol is often magnified and interpreted excessively. However, this argument is not fully able to dampen the wave of speculation that has already spread. Lisa's name is back in the center of attention. As one of the global idols that has a big influence, every relationship with other idols, especially from a group as big as BTS, will certainly be in the spotlight. But until now, Lisa herself has not given any response regarding the issue that is circulating. This silence actually reinforces the existing mystery, as if letting the public immerse themselves in their own interpretations. Interestingly, this is not the first time Jungkook has been involved in this kind of speculation. As a figure who is known to be quite closed in terms of personal life, every small hint about his feelings often becomes the subject of a long discussion. But this time it feels different. There is something in the way he speaks that makes many people feel that this is not just a coincidence. Some observers even tried to read Jungkook's body language in the video. They showed how the direction of his gaze changed, how his tone slightly dropped, and how he seemed to be holding back something before finally speaking. All of this, of course, cannot be used as concrete evidence, but it is enough to strengthen the narrative that there is something that is being hidden. In the midst of all this speculation, one thing that becomes clear is how much influence Jungkook has on the public. Just one short sentence can trigger a global discussion, proving that every little detail of him has an extraordinary impact. The same thing also applies to Lisa, who, although not directly involved in the statement, is still an important part of the growing story. But the biggest question remains unanswered. Is there really something behind Jungkook's words? Or is this just the result of the public's imagination that is too wild? Until now, there is no official confirmation that can explain the situation clearly. And maybe that's where the attraction lies. This mystery continues to live because it has no definite answer. Everyone is free to interpret according to their own point of view. For some people, This is a sign of a relationship that is more than just a fellow idol. For others, this is just an example of how the public can create a story from something that is actually simple. For sure, Jungkook's statement has left a mark that is difficult to erase. He may not intend to create controversy, but the impact of his words has exceeded anyone's expectations. And as long as there is no clear clarification, this mystery will continue to be the subject of endless discussion. In a world where every detail can go viral, maybe this is the consequence that idols have to face. They speak not only for themselves, but also for millions of people who are ready to interpret every word. And in this case, one sentence from Jungkook is enough to make the world wonder, what exactly is going on? The wave of curiosity didn't stop there. Precisely after the snippet of the statement went viral, the public began to dig deeper, as if there was something that had been missed. Jungkook and Lisa's names are increasingly mentioned in one breath, not because of any confirmation, but because of the small pieces that now feel like they have a strange relationship.